Right when the stadium lights began to fade and the echoes of thousands of ARMY voices were still filling the night air, something unexpected happened. A short fan video suddenly appeared online, and within minutes it began spreading everywhere. In that clip, two familiar figures were seen quietly leaving the stadium just moments after Day 3 ended. Was it just a normal moment after a long concert night? Or was there something more happening behind the scenes? Hello ARMY around the world. Welcome back to JiKook Lover, the channel where we talk about the most viral, emotional, and mysterious moments involving BTS, especially the duo that always sparks endless discussions among fans, Park Jimin and Jungkook. Before we dive in, make sure to like this video, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to JiKook Lover so you never miss the next viral JiKook moment. Because what was seen after Day 3 has fans all over the world asking the same question. What really happened after the concert ended? What happened after Day 3? JiKook suddenly left the stadium, and this is what was seen. The night still carried the lingering energy of something unforgettable. Even as the concert officially ended, the atmosphere around the stadium refused to calm down. Thousands of fans were still gathered outside, their voices echoing through the surrounding streets as they relived the moments they had just experienced. For many, Day 3 had been the emotional peak of the entire event. Throughout the performance, the connection between the artists and the audience felt almost electric. Every song, every interaction, every glance across the stage seemed to hold a deeper meaning. It was one of those nights that fans would remember for years. Yet strangely, the story of that night did not end when the final song finished. Instead, something else began unfolding just minutes later. And it all started with a single fan recording. In today's digital age, every moment can be captured and shared instantly. A simple video recorded from a phone can travel across the globe within seconds, especially when it involves artists whose influence reaches millions of people. That is exactly what happened. A short clip began circulating online not long after the concert ended. At first glance, it looked like an ordinary recording taken from outside the venue. The camera shook slightly, cars were partially blocking the view, and the lighting made it difficult to see clearly. But within that brief and slightly blurry video, two figures could be seen walking toward a waiting vehicle. For casual viewers, it might have seemed insignificant, but for fans who have watched countless hours of performances, interviews, and behind-the-scenes moments, recognizing familiar silhouettes is almost second nature. Within minutes, comments began appearing under the video. Some fans claimed they immediately recognized the way one of the figures walked. Others pointed out details about the clothing or hairstyle that seemed familiar. Soon, one theory began dominating the conversation. Many viewers believed the two figures in the video were none other than Park Jimin and Jungkook. The moment itself lasted only a few seconds. There were no flashing cameras from official media outlets, no announcements, and no obvious interaction with fans. The two figures simply walked toward a car waiting nearby and appeared to leave the stadium area shortly after the concert ended. Yet those few seconds were enough to ignite a wave of speculation across the internet. Within an hour, the clip had been reposted across multiple platforms. Fan accounts began sharing screenshots, slowing down the footage, zooming in on frames, and trying to analyze every detail. Some fans focused on body language. Others tried to compare the clothing seen in the clip with outfits worn earlier that evening. The deeper people looked into the video, the more questions began to emerge. Why were they leaving the stadium so quickly? Was this simply a normal part of post-concert logistics? Or was there something else happening behind the scenes that fans didn't know about? As these questions spread, so did the discussions. Online forums filled with theories. Social media timelines became flooded with clips, edits, and conversations about what the video might mean. For some fans, the explanation seemed simple. After performing for hours in front of a massive audience, it would be completely normal for artists to leave the venue quickly to rest or move on to their next schedule. But others felt something about the moment looked unusual. Perhaps it was the timing. Perhaps it was the quiet nature of the scene. Or perhaps it was simply the fact that any moment involving Jimin and Jungkook naturally draws attention from the global fandom. Whatever the reason, the video continued to spread. Meanwhile, many ARMY began reflecting on the long history of interactions between the two members. Since their debut with BTS, Jimin and Jungkook have often shared moments that fans describe as playful, emotional, or unexpectedly heartfelt. Whether it was on stage during concerts, in interviews, or in behind-the-scenes content, their dynamic has always captured attention. It is a connection that fans have watched grow over the years. But like many aspects of life as global artists, not everything happens in front of cameras. There are countless moments that fans never see, moments that exist only behind the scenes. And perhaps that is what makes a short clip like the one recorded after Day 3 feel so intriguing. Because sometimes, the smallest glimpses can spark the biggest questions. As the hours passed, more fans began searching for additional recordings taken outside the stadium that night. Some tried to piece together a timeline of events from the moment the concert ended to the moment the vehicle was seen leaving. Every new angle added another layer to the discussion. Yet despite all the speculation, one thing remained certain. No official explanation appeared. There was no statement, no confirmation, and no clarification about the moment captured in the video. And perhaps that silence is what kept the curiosity alive. Because in the world of global fandom, unanswered questions often become the most talked about stories. What exactly happened after Day 3 ended? Why were Jimin and Jungkook seen leaving the stadium at that particular moment? Was it simply part of their normal schedule after the concert? Or was that brief video revealing a small glimpse of something happening behind the scenes that fans were never meant to notice? And now fans around the world are asking the same question. The questions surrounding that moment did not fade as the night went on. In fact, they seemed to grow stronger with every passing hour. The original clip continued circulating across social media platforms, and new reposts appeared constantly as fans across different time zones woke up and discovered the footage for the first time. For many people, the curiosity came from how ordinary the moment looked. There were no flashing lights, no dramatic gestures, and no clear explanation of what was happening. Two figures simply walked toward a vehicle and disappeared into the night. Yet within the world of global fandom, even a quiet moment like that could quickly become the center of attention. Part of the fascination came from the timing. Day 3 had just ended, and the atmosphere around the stadium was still electric. Fans were still talking about the performances, the emotional moments on stage, and the interactions that had taken place during the show. Many were still standing outside the venue, hoping to catch a final glimpse of the artists as they left. That environment made the video feel almost cinematic. The stadium lights were dimming, the crowd was slowly dispersing, and somewhere in the middle of that transition, the brief clip captured a scene that felt strangely private. Some fans described it as a blink and you miss it moment. Others said it felt like discovering a hidden detail in a story that had already seemed complete. But the more people watched the clip, the more the conversation began shifting from simple curiosity to deeper speculation. A few fans pointed out something interesting about the way the moment unfolded. Normally, when artists leave a venue after such a large event, the process involves tight security coordination, organized transportation, and carefully planned exits to avoid chaos. Because of that, fans often expect departures to happen quickly and quietly. Yet the appearance of the video suggested that at least one person nearby had managed to capture a clear glimpse of the moment. This led to another wave of questions. Had the departure been planned exactly that way? Or had the recording simply caught a rare angle that fans usually never get to see? As discussions expanded, many ARMY began revisiting the events that had taken place earlier during the concert itself. Day 3 had been filled with memorable highlights. From powerful performances to emotional interactions between the members and the crowd, the entire show had felt intense from start to finish. Some fans remembered moments where the energy on stage seemed especially strong. Others talked about the way certain songs had drawn louder cheers than usual. There were even discussions about subtle interactions between members that people had noticed during the performance. None of those moments seemed unusual at the time. But once the video of the stadium exit began circulating, some fans started connecting those earlier memories to the new footage. Suddenly, people began asking whether there had been hints earlier in the night that something different was happening behind the scenes. Was there a conversation backstage after the concert? Had the members needed to leave quickly for another schedule? Or had the entire moment simply been routine, with fans unintentionally turning it into a mystery? As with many viral stories involving global artists, the lack of clear information allowed imagination to fill the gaps. Different interpretations began emerging from different corners of the fandom. Some people insisted that the explanation was straightforward. After an exhausting 3-day event, it would make sense for artists to leave quickly and head back to rest. Others felt the moment looked slightly more intentional. They pointed out that the two figures appeared to be leaving together at almost the exact same time. That detail alone was enough to spark new waves of discussion, particularly among fans who closely follow the dynamic between the two members. Over the years, the friendship between Park Jimin and Jeon Jungkook has been one of the most talked about relationships within BTS. From playful teasing during live broadcasts to emotional support during difficult moments, their interactions have often stood out in ways that fans find memorable. Because of that long history, even small moments involving the two of them tend to attract intense attention. The clip from outside the stadium quickly became another example of that phenomenon. As the footage continued spreading, fan accounts began analyzing even the smallest details. Some tried to determine the exact time the video was recorded. Others compared the lighting and background elements to photos taken earlier that evening. A few even attempted to identify the specific vehicle visible in the clip, hoping to confirm whether it belonged to the official transport used by the group. While none of these investigations produced a definitive answer, they kept the conversation alive. Meanwhile, new viewers kept discovering the video. Each time the clip reached a new audience, the cycle repeated itself. Someone would post it, others would analyze it, and soon thousands of people would be discussing what those few seconds might mean. In many ways, the situation illustrated something unique about modern fandom culture. Years ago, moments like this might have gone completely unnoticed. A brief departure after a concert would have been seen only by a handful of people nearby, and the story likely would have ended there. But today, even the smallest fragment of a moment can travel across the entire world within minutes. And when millions of fans are watching closely, every detail becomes significant. Still, despite all the speculation, many ARMY reminded others of something important. Sometimes a moment is simply a moment. Artists are human beings with schedules, responsibilities, and personal routines that fans rarely see. Leaving a venue after a concert might not carry any hidden meaning at all. It might simply be the end of a long day. Yet the fascination with the clip never completely disappeared. Perhaps that is because the video captured something that fans rarely get to witness: the quiet transition between the public spectacle of a concert and the private world that exists afterward. Inside the stadium, everything had been grand and dramatic. Lights, music, choreography, and thousands of voices singing together had created an unforgettable experience. But outside the stadium, the scene looked completely different. Cars were parked in neat rows. Security personnel moved calmly around the area. And somewhere in that quieter environment, two figures walked toward a vehicle that would take them away from the noise. For a brief moment, the distance between the stage and the outside world became visible. And that small glimpse was enough to spark a global conversation. Even now, many fans continue debating what exactly the video shows. Some remain convinced that it captured a completely ordinary departure. Others believe there might be details that fans have not fully understood yet. But perhaps the most interesting part of the story is not the video itself. It is the way the fandom reacted. Within hours, people from different countries, languages, and time zones were all discussing the same short clip. The moment had become a shared mystery that united thousands of conversations across the internet. And as those conversations continue, one question keeps returning again and again. If those few seconds really showed Jimin and Jungkook leaving the stadium together after day 3, was it simply the quiet ending to a long concert night? Or was that brief moment revealing something that fans are still trying to understand? Thinking face,